Hey, everybody, welcome to the Hoot Hobbs Show. I am your host, Hoot Hobbs. With me, as always, the meme king, Mr. BT, Brendan Torres.
Hey.
So before we even get into it, real quick, people who know us probably know at least of the Black Market Barbers over in Van Buren. Good friends of ours, good people, excellent barbers on top of that. But Brandon got into a motorcycle accident, I believe, last week.
Yes, last week.
Yeah, and luckily is going to be okay, but did suffer some head injuries.
It was a pretty scary accident.
Yeah, the likes of which you have lived through.
Yes, I read the details that were shared
I did
on
too.
their Facebook
And
page. And
all I could think about was you
That's
when
what
I
I
read
kept
them.
thinking was like, I completely, wholeheartedly understand everything.
Yeah, that's some scary stuff, man.
So I'm glad he's still with us.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I think whomever you believe in,
Sure.
that I'm thankful that he's still with us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, man. I'm very thankful. He's very blessed, and we'll just go on with that. And we love you, B Mac.
We hope to have you back soon, brother.
Yeah, man. Get better. The good news is he is expected to make a full recovery.
Yeah.
So that is fantastic. So anyway, we will get to the show, and read me the article, read me the headline for it, because it's ridiculous.
The lads are disrupting Minion screenings. Might just save the suit. I'm sure that is a pun in itself. But,
Sure.
But these young men in the UK have hopped onto this TikTok trend.
All right.
What did I say that was? It was hashtag...
Something play on words with minions.
Gentle Minions. Yeah,
Gentle
hashtag
Minions.
Gentle Minions. So what it is kids are going to the theater to see this new Rise of Gru movie, this Minions 3 or whatever it is. And they're going in full suit. They're suited up.
Nice.
And they're filming TikTok videos and causing chaos.
Oh,
so
no.
the UK has said no, and some theaters are starting to crack down on it. And if you are wearing a suit, you're not admitted into the theater.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for ending it with a sentence that sounded like that. Because imagine, if you will, I don't care what issues you have with our country, but imagine, if you will, living in a place that is so uptight that you can't get in to watch a movie if you're wearing a suit.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And I guess what it is there have been some managers and owners of these theaters in the UK
Sure.
that have complained that there's been so much damage caused by these kids
Sure.
throwing popcorn and throwing stuff at the screen and just
Sure.
causing chaos for
Yeah.
the sake of these TikTok videos that I can't afford to keep these dang things going. Right. So we got to ban these kids.
Right. Or, and hear me out here, this is crazy, or if they're under the age of 18, make it a new theater policy, they have to have an adult with them. That'll solve that stuff quick.
Yeah. Or once they start acting a fool,
Just turn the movie off.
tell them to leave.
Yeah, I mean, there seems like it's easier. I guess, I mean, I'm not the type who's going to wear a suit and then fly across the pond to go watch Minions. But
If we were,
I wouldn't do it. And this is the whole reason you lost a war all those years ago. Happy birthday, America.
Happy Treason Day.
That's right, you ungrateful colonials. What do we respond with? It's only treason if you lose. Yeah! All right, sorry, I figured that would be like a good time for like the Horatio from Miami, CSI Miami.
Are you directing me with some edits here?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. All right. I'll make a note.
You know what? Just scrap the whole thing. You're looking at me like I'm a crazy person. Anyway, yes, although it is, in fact, the 5th of July while we are streaming this and recording this, and by the time you hear it, it's probably a week past the 4th, but hey, doesn't matter. We celebrated our freedom in the best ways we know how, by blowing stuff up and getting sunburned in a redneck puddle outside. So,
That's how America celebrates.
that's right. Hey, I told that teaching lady the only crayons I needed was red, white, and blue, so there we go. That's my hillbilly talk. Is it good? It's good. Yeah, give me a Bush Light. See? Latte. Bush Latte. Yeah. No, that's the F Boys, I think. Wait. All right, so anyway, because I brought it up again, Meme King, Lord of the Memes, can you paint me a memery? Hell, so I actually decided to go through and saved some of mine, dude. I'm not going to sit and read all of them, but a couple of them is the old reliable meme, with SpongeBob exactly. It says when you don't want to go out but don't want to say no either, pop it open. I'll let you know. I was like, yeah, I feel that one.
That one was shared with you in thought.
Yes, of course. I'll let you know. As soon as Brandon hears me say, I'll let you know, he's like, ooh, he ain't doing it.
It's like, oh, well, I guess looks like we're recording tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I've surprised you a couple times on that, though. But it wasn't, I'll let you know. It was, I got to see what my wife has.
Yeah, I got to look at my schedule.
Yeah. And as soon as my wife's like, leave, I'm like, sweet, all right. That's usually what I get from my wife. You can go. I'm like, no, I'll stay with you. She's like, no, seriously, you should go.
You can go now. It's like, as a matter of fact, you want to record 4 shows?
Yeah, you should just do that. Hey, okay, this one was another one I felt in my heart, man. And it said, be right back. My wife's in the kitchen. I need to go stand in front of the cabinet she's about to open.
Right.
How does that happen?
How does that happen?
I stand in front of cabinets that she can't reach. Like, I get up on top of the counters, and she's like, I need in that one. It's like, what are you... What?
Isn't it always the way that you're always in her way?
Hey, I promise you, if my wife is in the kitchen, I am standing in front of the drawer or cabinet or refrigerator or dishwasher or oven or microwave or whatever it is that she may need.
At that moment, that's what she needs.
Yes, that's right.
They all do the same, don't they? They just reach for it regardless. Like you're not even there.
Yeah, just reach through me. I'm like, oh, well, okay.
It's like Patrick Swayze and Ghost now.
Okay. This is another one I felt on a deep level, okay? Tells joke to wife. Silence. Repeats joke to wife. Wife. Oh, no, I heard you. I was like, pfft. Yeah, that actually is.
That occurs on the reg.
That occurs daily. People are like, how do you have that many jokes? I'm like, have you met me? My life is a joke.
I am a joke.
I say, what are you
Clown
face? Yeah. I mean, like, here I am getting ready for work every morning, putting on my makeup. See, I illustrated a meme. There it is.
Nice.
Okay, man, another one I felt in my soul. The SpongeBob meme, when you see yourself in pictures. How long? Because I can hear Patrick going, what?
Yeah.
How long have I been ugly? Ever since I can remember.
Ever since I can remember. You've always been ugly.
Okay, who you calling a cootie queen lint licker?
Yeah.
That actually does live lint free. That's funny. That's kind of funny. I don't know if that is.
Lint free?
It lives rent free in my brain and has for almost 15 years.
Since you heard the commercial.
Yeah. Who you calling a cootie queen? You lint licker.
Dirty mouth?
Yeah, clean it up with Orbit gum. Are we allowed to speak with British accents, or is that cultural appropriation?
Maybe.
Well, they
don't like
it. They don't?
They don't like it.
Well, they like disgusting things. They invented things like, oh, we should have tea, but make it hot and not sweet.
Well, we could always be like Madonna and go live there for a month and then stop talking like
and then
this.
Come back and then say things like this. And that, oh, you going to drive down here, are you? I'm like, what? Why are you talking like that?
You going to the In-N-Out burger?
It's like, maybe. Why are you talking like that?
Can you get me some ketchup while you're there?
Yeah. Or some chips. Get me some chips. I come back with Ruffles. She's mad.
She's pissed off.
Yeah. Chips or fries? I'm like, no, not here. Okay, fries are fries here. Crisps are chips in the UK.
For those that aren't aware, we do have some UK listeners. They're probably just screaming at their...
Yeah, I imagine the British ones are pretty mad. I mean, the Irish and Scottish are probably laughing pretty good.
They're laughing their ass off.
Yeah,
Your Scottish friend is just rolling.
Yeah, he's probably
like, keep making fun of him.
Yeah.
Make fun of the Welsh next.
He runs like a Welshman, doesn't he? Doesn't he run like a Welshman?
And there you go.
Yeah, there you go. So when the office asks how you managed to get the job done so fast, the secret ingredient is OSHA violations. And let me tell you something, there's a whole lot of truth to that.
Right. No OSHA here.
Yeah.
No OSHA here.
No OSHA, no here. I'm going to go ahead and tell you something. I got some hate. Apparently, Jenny from Forrest Gump is not near the villain I painted her out to be. And I'm like, she gave a mentally handicapped man
a sexually transmitted disease,
STD, and made him a single parent. What else do you want? She checks all the boxes for villain.
Not to mention all the that she put him through throughout the entire movie.
For real, man.
All he did was love that dirty tramp.
For real. Make me a bird so I can fly far, far away. I wish you had stayed far
guess
away,
I guess what it comes down to is, people always point out she's a victim of all of these things.
Sure.
But like you said last week, that still doesn't justify her actions.
That's right.
Basically how she treated Forrest Gump from the entire film.
Boom. See, look a little deeper into your movies, okay? I'm looking at you.
Well, if some people say that in The Dark Knight, Joker's the hero and Batman's the villain, who's to say, right?
Yeah, well, I've actually tried this, right? So I actually, because it is, if you kind of hear a different perspective, you can at least try to adjust your mind to look at it that way, right? It's actually... It's believable.
He's not as much of a madman when you think about it.
I know.
Especially in the current global climate we're living in with money and currency. And
He actually looks like the guy who's trying to take down all the shady underbelly of Gotham. He's trying to burn all
the tyrants.
He's getting rid of them. He's running them out of business. He's lighting up their money. He's doing all this kind of stuff. And all for the sake of what? To take that vigilante madman off the streets. That's all he wants.
And from his point of view, Batman is the villain.
Exactly.
He's trying to get rid of Batman.
And first off, even by the time you end the movie, adjusting your mind to watch it that way, you still don't care. The Joker's the bad guy, Batman's the good guy. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Ledger even says himself in his performance there that, he doesn't want to kill him. Why would he want to kill him? If he kills him, then what does he have to do?
Yeah, exactly. Kill you? I don't want to kill you. I was like, huh. I'm telling you. Well, I don't
It's
know.
just such a masterful performance, too.
It
We're not
really
doing
was.
it justice because Ledger put his heart into that one.
Yeah. I mean, lost his mind over that one, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. He found a little bit of darkness.
Yes. I found my dark passenger. Problem is I fed him. I'm like, oh, don't do that. Do you remember Colby and I talking about there's like this internet funny guy, and I'm sure that might even be an insult to him. He might be famous. I don't know. I just know him from Facebook. But he's a comedian. Andrew Kahn is his name. He's a very tall, lanky, skinny white dude with blonde hair and kind of big teeth. He's
I have not.
I'm making him out to be a cartoon character, but
so far he's like Andy Dick. But keep going.
That's actually okay. Yeah, so you know who he is. That's great. Just a taller version and not nearly as Andy Dick.
Weird.
Yeah. I mean, you can't even say weird. I feel like that's an insult to that word. It's just not as Andy Dick.
Like weird, you think like Austin, Texas.
Yeah. Andy Dick has
Andy
no
Dick's
place
not.
in Austin, Texas. They'd be like, no, you go.
Yeah,
you go.
Andy Dick enjoys being weird. But anyway, we digress.
Yeah. So anyway, during the pandemic is whenever I discovered this dude because people just turned me on to him through Reels, or I guess it was just videos on Facebook and stuff at that time. I guess Reels was new, but whatever. So he just basically reviews, like starts watching videos and does reaction videos, right?
Okay.
And he discovered a little food stamp in the boys, which I think if you look them up on Facebook or on YouTube, it's like War Rack, I think is what they actually go by. And it's like this... I think from like Vermont or something, but it's just a group of like white nerdy dudes who rap. I don't know. Anyway, little food stamp in the boys was the joke he made, blah, blah, blah. But in this video that I watched, there's this larger, definitely a looked like a mixed dude. You know what I mean? He's like real light skinned. But he busts out of this like shed in the backyard, right? Because they're filming a video and they're rapping. And why don't you just bust out of the shed next to like the weed eater? So
why not?
He busts out, headbutts the camera, and starts like rapping, and it's not great. But Andrew Kahn makes this joke, and he's like, "What are you doing with Brittany Griner in your damn shed?" And he's like, "Hey, just look at this boy right here and tell me he don't look like Brittany Griner's big ass, And I was like, and it showed a comparison picture. I was like, that's actually kind of funny. He does. So making light of a serious situation is Brittany Griner is
still in Russia.
She's still in Russia, bro. Over what? Over weed? Get out of here. Are you serious?
Cartridge.
Bro, get out of
Yeah,
here.
she didn't have pounds and pounds of marijuana. She didn't even have like the flower marijuana.
She just had a vape pen.
Yeah, she had a vape
Let
pen.
that girl go, man. Y'all are crazy as you can be.
I've been of the conspiracy theory that they're doing it because of the current hostile situations going on in the world, and
Yeah,
they're just
absolutely.
doing it to be antagonistic and to be a dick.
Yeah, I have no doubt that is exactly what it comes off to me. It's like, you know what? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's just keep her here.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
she broke our law, so yeah.
And we can, and that's the leg we'll stand on. Oh no, she broke
Which
the law. She gotta
has
stay.
been the law that or the thing that they've stood on is that she broke a law,
Yeah.
our law. And
But we are talking about one of the most corrupt places on planet Earth.
Exactly.
And they're like, no THC in a vape cartridge. That will land you in prison for the rest of your life.
yeah.
Don't worry about the rest of us here. We're just going to go out and skin this dude alive because
I believe we
it's the
talked
Russian mob.
about it when she first got arrested. We talked
Yeah.
about it on the show, and we were like, God, that was a really dumb move of her to have something that you would want to take with you going to such a high-risk place.
For real. Like, if
So-
I'm going anywhere else in the world and I'm Brittany Griner, I
Yeah.
might be like,
You-
yeah, all
you
right,
don't
don't make
take
it.
it-
If I'm going to Italy, okay.
You don't take it when you go to the UK.
Yeah.
You don't take it when you go to Japan.
Yeah.
You don't take it when you go to Korea.
Yeah.
You don't take it when you go to Russia.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah, done and done. You can
So-
smoke weed everywhere else.
So it's just pretty crazy that happened, and I think we, lampooned it as we do.
Sure,
I
yeah,
can't
but-
even. It's been a minute since it even happened when she got
It's-
detained. Was
what
Colby
about like a
still
m-
here? I think he talked about it.
Was he? I don't know. I thought
Maybe.
it wasn't that long ago, was it? It's like a month, wasn't it?
I know it feels like it's been forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just been so long, and it's over something that's so minor.
Yeah, exactly. So just
It hasn't
not-
hurt anybody, hasn't done anything. They're not going to charge her with racketeering or trafficking or anything ridiculous like
This
that.
is just being a full-on dick move. That's what's going on. But here's the question that you and I discussed earlier. If it were LeBron, would he still be in Russia?
Yeah, the reason we brought it up is I guess her coach had questioned and said, if this were LeBron James, would he still be in jail?
Yeah.
Would he still be there?
Yeah.
And it made me stop for a second and think about that. So that's why we posed the question to each other, and we haven't answered it yet. So here we are. Would it? I say probably not. Probably not.
You say he wouldn't be in jail right now.
No, I think
If
that
LeBron James was
Same
detained
situation.
in Russia, exact same situation, you say that he would not still be there right now.
I don't think so. I think somebody would have done something to get him brought home because of the stature of the name attached.
I agree 100%. There's no notes on that. I agree 100%. If it was LeBron James, if it was
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan ain't going overseas. He's done with that.
True.
His
He
knees
don't-
ain't going to make
he
that
don't
trip.
go anywhere except to occasionally school some kids at basketball and say that LeBron's the GOAT.
Yeah.
He's got to take them out.
He's
and
like, all
play
right, let me show
one-on-one."
you a little something here. Let me play 2-on-2. I got my man Tom Brady. I'm like, Mike, why are you hanging out with Tom Brady for one? He cheats. Two, I'm not letting it go, okay? But anyway, but no, I agree. If it were LeBron James, if it was Chris Paul,
Yeah.
I mean, we're taking
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie ain't going anywhere either. He don't even play ball.
I think if Kyrie were there, he'd still be in jail.
I think if Kyrie were there, I think we'd be like, nah, he's good. He's fine.
Let him sit this one out.
No, Vladimir. He needs to sit there and think about what he's doing.
Oh my God.
That's good stuff. That's funny. I'm funny. Yeah, so I don't know. I do. I just agree. I think I don't know, man. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. If it was any like Brittany Griner is a well-known name in the WNBA. She's
yeah.
a WNBA superstar. We can say that
for
right?
sure. She's one of the names of note that is in that league. Where
Sure.
someone has an off chance of knowing who that is because of she's a big famous
Yeah, sure,
athlete.
Sure.
I don't know. As far as a marketable athlete in the WNBA, she's on top of the list.
Absolutely. She's right there with Sue Bird,
Yeah.
all these women.
Yeah, Candace Parker.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So, I mean, this is a big deal, right? But I think any well-known name, I don't even mean superstars. I'm talking any well-known name in the NBA gets caught in that situation, their team is coming after them.
That's true.
And and here's the deal. This was where I differ, though. Okay, so I say I differ. Let me try to clarify this. I've got jumbled thoughts, so I'm just going to work them out.
Okay.
I don't think that, let me rephrase that. When it comes down to socially speaking, or entertainment value, all this kind of stuff, monetary value, I think it's because any of these well-known players in the NBA, this is the reason I'm having a hard time, because it sounds so awful, and I don't mean it this way, but I'm talking specifically on entertainment value, monetary value, what people
earnings,
can leave.
like her income?
Yes, thank you so much. Yes. That's why one of our male athletes would be back already, is because
some executive in an office somewhere
needs
for
to
that
leech money off
franchise,
of 'em.
yeah, they got to find a way to get this guy back here because we're not fulfilling our Nike contracts.
Exactly. But with the women who really, it's been shown that they don't have the same kind of contract obligations or the same kind of contract numbers.
No,
They don't
absolutely
have the
not.
same, of a lot of things, right? So it's just not as big a deal. She's a little more expendable, and I have such a problem with that. And here's the deal. Before any feminists start getting on, like thinking I'm on your team, I'm not, okay? I'm really not, because it has nothing to do with the fact she's a woman. It has nothing to do with the fact that she is a black woman. It has to do with the fact that she's a person. I mean, she is a person. Not only is she a person, she's a very important person to me. She's American.
Yeah.
So
What
are we doing?
If this were a journalist or anybody that's being detained for such a bullshit reason,
hostile takeover, we're going to get him.
there is a reason to have outrage over it.
Yeah.
And I sadly do agree with you that the reason that there's not a greater significant deal being made of this is because she is an athlete that plays in the WNBA and not the NBA.
Yeah. I just think we got to start taking better care of each other as people. You know what I'm saying? Like this whole thing with Brittany Griner, I know I opened it with a joke about her and everything, and I even remember when we did first talk about this, I was like, my attitude was, who cares?
Yeah.
And not because of who cares, she'll just stay over there. It was because, who cares? I mean, she's an athlete.
We were under the assumption
they're going to get her home tomorrow,
when
no
we
big deal.
kind of flippantly blew it off, we were under the impression like she would be back in a couple days.
Yeah, I was like, all right, so what? You took weed there, you shouldn't have. You get detained for a couple days, you come home.
Yeah, and then somebody's going to go over there and get you in the name of ambassador because you don't belong over there. She doesn't belong over there.
No, look, man, there ain't no good human being that belongs over there, bro. I'm just saying, that's my opinion and whatever. But this is so crazy to me, is the fact that, like, even you and I, the first place we went on this, no, that's not true, because you're actually a good person, which is great. Because, it was like, hey, we should talk about this because she's not home. And the first thing I was thinking is like, oh, well, that's crazy. I didn't remember she was gone. And then I kind of started thinking, I was like, dang, I guess that's kind of a part of the point, Yeah. As if we just don't remember. So until Brittany Griner's home, WNBA, I am your ally. I'm just going to keep talking about it. I think I've got like 4 people who listen to this damn thing, but like,
they need to bring her home.
Y'all need to pay attention to what's going on, man. It's crazy. We're talking about
no lesser significance than LeBron James.
Or of anyone,
it's anybody that's just making it with a minimal contract in the NBA.
Yeah.
She's no better than or worse than any of them. We're all equal. We're all people. She's an American that deserves the same rights as all of us.
Yeah.
And she's being held over there, in my humble opinion, out of spite by a country that's just because she's an American.
Yeah.
When we can do this, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And bigger, better things need to prevail, and somebody needs to go over there and handle business and get her back.
Yeah. Now this is a little bit different because, no disrespect, but this is a little softer country. But back in 2019, A$AP Rocky,
the rapper
A$AP Rocky, he was detained in Sweden. Him and 2 of his homeboys got into a fight. There was some screaming Usher fan, as Marshall Mathers would put it, that was harassing him, not leaving him alone. Kept on bugging him for an autograph or something. I don't know.
And then things got hostile.
Things started getting hostile, and homeboy, the way it looked to me in the video thing is that the fan said something, and then it exploded, and they get in a fight, and One of ASAP's homeboys cracks a bottle over dude's head. They all get detained for assault and all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff, right? Okay, well, here's the deal. They got detained for assault. I actually agree with that. You know,
Yeah, felonious assault's a fair charge.
Yep.
You hit somebody with a bottle.
yep, that's it.
You
You're-
instigate
know,
a fight in a club or wherever you were.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Swedish government determined that they weren't the cause of it. They didn't start it. Okay. Well, we're just going to keep them anyway.
Yeah, they're still going to detain them and not allow them to leave the country.
Right. So, and I know there's mixed reviews on this fella, but that bad, mean orange man, Donald Trump, contacts Sweden and says, "I'll go to a trade war if I don't get ASAP back."
Yeah, more or less. That's
I
what.
was just like, "What are you long live ASAP fan? What do you got going on, DT?" But hey, maybe he is. Who knows, man? But Donald Trump, man, he declared a trade war, and
But it's the exact same situation, though, where someone's being detained in another country. So
Yeah.
that's why he said he was intervening is on behalf of them because they're Americans that were
Yeah.
wrongfully being detained.
Yeah.
And Griner, while she may have had that vape pen in their country, again, we go back to the original fault. It's more of a finable offense than it should be for anything. And if it was jailable, how long has she been there now?
yeah, long enough.
Long enough.
Yeah, guys, that's over with. We live in Arkansas, and you don't go to jail this long for weed, okay? And we are
Right.
Bible Belt Central. You just don't.
It's just
It's-
wild.
Yeah,
it's wild. It's wild to think that we live in the world where this even has to be a conversation. But
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, what it all comes down to me is like, I don't care, black, white, gay, straight, stupid. I don't. Well, maybe not stupid. I might hate you if you're stupid, but anything else, I don't care. Just be good, man. Just be good to each other. This is so stupid. Like you said, that we're having to have a conversation about the relevance of a person to justify the importance of getting them home.
yeah, whether this is a comparison of a LeBron James or not, and that's what's ridiculous is that conversation exists because
Yeah.
there are people that believe and feel that way.
Yeah.
That's the reason that conversation can even exist is because there are some people that do feel that way. That yeah, LeBron would be home by now. Your point?
Yeah. I'll be like, my point is, there's still an American woman over.
Yeah, there's
in-
still a human being.
Documentaries, I love them, and you told me about one earlier, the 1993 Zimbabwe children.
Yes.
I do not know much about this, so I thought maybe it would
Okay.
be fun, like because you told me a little bit, and I'm interested, so I thought it might be fun if you'd kind of give us a little background on that to wrap up the show.
Okay.
Because I do plan on checking this out. And this ain't one of those middle of the mall documentaries, okay? You don't get this on Netflix. All right, this ain't a Netflix original. It's not a Hulu docuseries. This one you got to go on YouTube.
In 1994, 60 children at an aerial school in Ruwai, Zimbabwe, said they saw a UFO with aliens with big eyes in a bushland near their school playground. The story was reported around the world. So that's the juxt of everything right there.
Okay.
But what's really weird about this story is there are these children that are just on recess out playing in this. Just think of a school that's near a field in the back where the playground is. Well, I guess at some point during the playground, these 60 children, these, elementary age children,
Sure.
are in the back and they have an encounter with extraterrestrials of what they claim. Two extraterrestrials, from their descriptions and the pictures that they draw, it's your stereotypical grays with the big eyes, the big head, no mouth, no nose. One of the things they kept talking about is how it was weird that it had no mouth or no nose. It was weird to look at. But also, it like mind melded with them and communicated telepathically. That's how they could sense what it was trying to tell them.
Huh.
And one of them was in the background running around. They said that they never touched the ground. They were hovering. And the aliens had a message to let them know that they were there, to bring them a message of a warning that humans need to take better care of the planet. We're polluting and we're destroying things at an alarming rate and need to rein that in. And also our technology is advancing too fast, too soon, and it's a bad thing. And they left a warning that they came now and they will be back. intending, or it's been interpreted at least by these children, that means they're going to come back within their lifetime. Well, flash forward from 1994 to present. I don't know when they filmed the second part of the doc or the newer interviews, but these children all still swear to this same. They're no longer children; they're grown-ups.
Right.
They all still swear to these same stories. They all still have had no communication with one another in over 20 years. The stories are still the same. Everything still lines up. If anything, some of them are more vivid than they were before. They all say that they've been traumatized by it. Some of them have more positive feelings about it than others, but all of them are forever scarred by this moment.
Different.
Yeah. So it's interesting because what makes this situation so unique is this incident happened, right? These kids say this.
Sure.
Their headmaster, whoever, saw this group of scared children, talking about all this wild madness that they seen. The next day, they bring in a documentary team, which included like a world-renowned child psychologist, and I mean, this guy has won awards. He's a professor and
Sure.
all these acclaims, and he's interviewing these children and getting these stories, and that's where the documentary begins with his footage, and it's chilling to hear these children describe these things with such earnest and such honesty and sincerity in their eyes when they're describing them. And some of them you would imagine as a child describing something. It kind of meanders and rambles.
Sure, yeah. And then the blue cup, and you're like, oh, God.
But the way that these stories all match with each other, with these children, these aren't paid actors. These are children, like the age from 6 to 9.
Yeah.
They're just these children, and they all have the same stories, paint the same picture. They're the witnesses to it. And again, it's also suggested that perhaps they chose children as the medium to speak to intentionally.
Yeah, because a child.
Pure of heart.
Yeah. A child's not as apt to try to shoot it.
Well, there's that too.
Welcome to the South.
But this is where we can start going down the rabbit hole. Since we've started messing around with things like the CERN Super Collider, we've had more of an increase in UAP activity.
Sure, a lot more sightings, or at least a lot more transparency. I guess that could be a way of
our
saying it.
governments have been a lot more transparent.
Yeah,
with
they're
it,
like,
for
hey,
sure.
look, we've known about aliens for a long time.
We can't explain these things. Here's the video. We have no explanation
Yeah.
for this.
You guys take it for what it is.
For the record, the children's description of this spacecraft matches the descriptions of what you see in the videos that you see online of the UAPs, and also the descriptions you hear of these these machines that can move through sky in directions that our forms of propulsion cannot simply do.
Yeah, you can
So-
go from standing still to shooting up at a
The
diagonal.
way that they describe the lights of the spaceship, the twinkling lights and the alternating of the colors, is eerily reminiscent to like the Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which in itself, I believe, is also based off of a similar encounter. Again, we got these similar concepts of these same themes going around. I guess the question always is how much of this is pollution caused by somebody hearing these things and then it going on. But in the case of these Zimbabwe children in 1994, it's very interesting because they have nothing to gain from it.
Right.
If anything, they've all now have to live a life of shame if they acknowledge the fact that they do believe that this happened.
Yeah.
Which they all still do.
Sure. Well, I mean, if it happened to you, of course you're going to believe
Yeah,
it.
they can all pass lie detector tests that it happened. So it's
crazy.
a crazy thing. I'm interested to see your take on it after you see these kids. What you think? We don't know because honestly, if we go down this rabbit hole with you, you have a strong faith. So
I do.
They could have been having some sort of a spiritual moment as well, right?
Sure. I mean, if you look at things, look at, for instance, the conversion of Saul, in the Bible, where Saul, the persecutor, becomes the apostle Paul,
the prophet.
Yeah. So there was a blinding light, and he was spoken to without really anyone else hearing. So, I mean, there's similarities that you could draw from that. So could it have been in some form of divine intervention of God speaking to these children? Very possible. In my opinion, very possible. But see, I'm also one of those kooky Christians that still, I believe in an all-powerful God. So therefore, even though I do believe he would be master and creator of all, I do believe that there are aliens. Like, I know I'm like a kooky Christian.
He would, at the same time, protect you from harm as well. If it's his will.
But say, once again, that's one of those things in the, I don't want to call it argument because that's not fair, but in the faith discussion I have with, people who don't share my faith, is I'm like, hey, unfortunately, all I can give you is the church answers here, right? Would God protect me from something like that? Well, if it's his will. Well, how do you know it's his will? I don't know his will. He knows his will. I just have faith in his will. Well, how come? It's because of my faith. Honestly, there's sometimes that I have to say, I'm sorry, I can't give you the answer.
Oh, no, we've talked about it before in the past about how, in all sincerity, you have to sometimes come to grips with the struggle of, do I believe? What do I believe? Do I believe this?
Yeah.
I have faith in this. I believe this.
Yeah.
But you question these things because you're human. You're normal.
Yeah, right.
You're infallible. You have these things. So, of course, you're going to question it. What it comes back to is your faith and these things that keep you grounded and bring you back to center.
Sure.
So,
and that's the way it works.
That's the
for
thing
me.
is, but you've always been one to question, though. You're not afraid to question it.
No.
That's a mindset that I do appreciate about you. Is you are open-minded enough to listen to the discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's plenty of things that you and I, and things that I don't want to talk about again. Yeah. But I mean, you and I have disagreed, I don't know, about 1 million times. Because
it's so funny that people probably don't think that about it. It's like these guys get along about everything. It's like,
no, we have very, very polar opposite beliefs on certain things that your way of thinking, it rubs me the wrong way, and my way of thinking rubs you the wrong way. But at the end of the day, the thing that keeps us friends is the fact that we're like, okay, well, we disagree on that. Hey, the Bulls rule, though, right? And you're like, the Bulls rule,
You're right, but it's also this. Is like, at the end of the day, you want to see my soul saved because you want me to spend the eternal life with you.
Yes.
By that same token, I want you to come to my side of the believing and feel the way that I feel about organized religions and these things.
Sure.
But I'm never going to ever try to bully or pressure or be impressionable to you because understanding you as a person, I also understand that your faith and the fact that you were raised the way that you were raised and the things that you believe, the things that you know, and the way that you see the world makes you you. Right. And I love you for that, and I would not want to change that.
Right. And I appreciate that. And that's the same reason I'm not, I tell you all the time, I pray for you.
Yeah, you tell me all the time.
But I could say, I mean, that's the way I say that. I mean, I could say, hey, man, I'm sending you good vibes. I mean, it's the same thing. I pray for you. I mean, it's what I do. Yeah. It's not, dear Lord, if you'll save Brandon from being a sinner going to hell. No, I'm just saying, man, I hope you have a good day.
Truthfully, what I think of it is like, that's very sweet because that means someone else on this planet is thinking positively of me. Yeah. So I take that as a beautiful thing and a good thing, and that's what I give it right back. I wish and hope nothing but the best all the time. If you cross my mind, it's the same thought I have. Yeah. It's none of that bad negative because honestly, you and I have been down that road where if you popped in my head, it's like, oh, that guy.
Yeah, right.
It's not like that anymore because we've grown past that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it finally got to the point where it's like, wow, what is the point of being this mad over something that does not matter?
And containing this much hate for someone that it hurts to hate them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like... all of this is a discussion for another day, and it will be a good one at some point. We just got to find a way to piece it together. But, I mean, getting back on the subject of this is, yeah, man, I believe it could be aliens talking to these kids. It could have been divine intervention of some form, sure. I mean, I definitely, if I believe it could be aliens, I promise you I believe it could be God. Yeah. But
and you've always said, too, that God created said aliens, so of course they
exactly. I mean, that's always the way I look at it.
Simple logic.
Like, I'm like, look, man, I believe in an all-powerful God. That means he is omnipresent, can do, will do. This man or I don't want to say thing, but God can
Yeah.
do all things. In that's what I
Yeah,
believe.
because God would be beyond, any type of a labeling of a gender.
Sure. Yeah. Right. Yeah. God, I don't I don't know, man. I don't think he gets down with that, but I don't know. Let's move past it. But no, man. I mean,
No, what you're saying is you're thinking like all encompassing, all powerful deity,
exactly.
knows all, does all.
yeah.
Can do
So if someone's
anything.
like, here's the whole thing, and this is a weird one, and the weird one that the churchies cling to, okay, including my churchies, okay, but this earth is only 6,000 years old. I'm like, nah, I don't feel like that's accurate. I'm like, I don't know.
It seems like there's some stuff here that's pretty old.
I say carbon dating's a thing, and we trust it as long as it doesn't go back past 6,000. I don't know. See, there's where I question this. I'm like, if I believe in an all-powerful God, then yeah, I believe that this planet might be 650 billion years old or whatever, 65
and
billion
there
years
might
old.
not be. This might not have been his only passion project. He may
right.
have.
There might have been dinosaurs, guys. Sorry.
There's a lot of things that could have happened because we're
Sure.
talking about infinity.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
infinite, excuse me.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. And that's just it. And like, I don't look at it as I'm questioning my faith because I'm not questioning my faith.
No,
I
you
always
never,
stay
you never
grounded.
question the faith. You always
Yeah,
come back.
But I don't see the harm in exploring what.
Thought.
Yeah, the thought that like maybe we've got some of this wrong, And I don't question. I because of my faith, I don't question the Bible. I don't. That's what I've always been taught. You don't question the Bible. If it's in the Bible, it's a real thing. Okay. I'm just one of those people that think that there might be some real things that aren't in the Bible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
makes sense because
You know what I'm saying?
there's a lot of time has passed since the book was written. a lot
Yeah,
of
that's
things happen.
and that's what I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Who am I? You know what I'm saying? I'm just a guy with a few ideas and a microphone. Holler at me.
Well, I hope you check it out because it puts a lot of things in an interesting perspective. If you want to just think about close encounter situations and
man.
believability.
Yeah.
Because I know normally we're used to hearing the old stereotypical joke about the guy from the trailer park getting abducted.
Yeah, and they shoot me around like an old dog.
Yes, yes. But I've watched and listened to so many interviews from some of these people, and some of these witnesses and these people with these testimonies come from some of the most esteemed positions in life.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would you flush everything away for this?
What are you? I was a neurosurgeon, but now they think I'm incompetent, so I
Yeah,
can't
so
work on
it-
other people's brain.
It's one of those things where it's like look at it and try to come at it from a scientific standpoint. It's like, okay, I don't necessarily believe you may have think that you saw what you thought you saw, but if we look at it scientifically, let's try to figure out what you really did see. Now the problem is when it comes to aliens is you don't have empirical evidence because once the abduction, the sighting, whatever is over, it's gone.
done,
There's
yeah.
nothing. It's like Bigfoot. There's never
not
evidence.
even ectoplasm.
Yeah,
like
you don't
that
even
with
get
that. ghosts at least leave that.
fecal matter or stuff like
Yeah.
a skunk ache leaves behind. It's been squatching.
Yeah, there's a squatch in these woods.
So I'm like you. I don't. It'd be stupid of me and ludicrous of me to believe that we're alone in the universe.
Yeah, I think so.
And I can fully get behind that there are more advanced things outside of Earth.
I hope so.
Sure the hell hope so, right?
Yeah.
But I find these warnings and things a little foreboding because it's like,
Little ominous.
yeah, it's like what?
Yeah, what you mean when you say you're gonna come back? What you mean?
And in 1994, and then considering all of the technological advancements that have happened since the warning.
Well, what the problem was, I think that the warning. I honestly, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. It was a mixture of two men. Okay. First, it started with Steve Jobs. With the invention of the iPhone, we became more capable than what the aliens could handle.
Yeah, we evolved quick with the cellular phone.
Absolutely,
No doubt.
absolutely. So what did they do? They sent one of their own to live amongst us. He would go
Dennis
on-
Rodman.
Dennis, right? That's a terrible disguise. No, of course he's human. No. He's simply become a billionaire. It's Elon Musk. He is one of them. He lives amongst us, and that's how he's made his money. That's how he learned how to Tesla and to PayPal.
I think we can still go down this road. But I have a question. God, I lost my train of thought now with that one.
Yeah, you're welcome. Sorry about that, but yeah, it's good.
Do you believe that these encounters that people like these kids in Zimbabwe, like the guy that's at the trailer park,
Sure.
do you believe that these same things that visit them have ever visited people of power and influence over human? As in
I think
kings
that
and
yeah,
princes
yeah,
and
presidents.
emperors and presidents.
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, like I said, if we're working on the understanding in this scenario that we know that aliens do exist, like a higher life form does exist and has been here. Yeah, I would say, of course, they. I mean, maybe aliens are different than us, though. Maybe greed doesn't, and the hunger for power doesn't fuel them the way it does us, because we can say it doesn't, but we're humans. Of course, it does.
Yeah, that in itself goes back to us being the animals that we are, the human beings, that our aggression and these things are embedded in us because our synapses fire that way, and we act like that.
Yeah.
We're like a Neanderthal compared to a higher enlightened being from another planet.
Exactly. So, but here's the question: like, why would they visit we'll call them a higher up, because we're going to make this into, I don't know, a company instead of a world. So they visit the higher ups, right? And the higher ups are much lower life forms than our friends, right?
Yeah.
What's the purpose? Is it just to play the game? Hey, like they're playing Risk with us, or is it to actually manipulate and control?
See, I'm one of the ones that is more inclined to believe that they don't meet with these people. Like, they won't meet with a president of the United States. They're not going to meet with an emperor.
Sure.
They're going to meet with children at a school in Zimbabwe.
Well, especially if they're peaceful, right?
Well, that's the other thing, is these children got creepy vibes from them. Like, it wasn't all peace, love, and positivity from these aliens.
Oh, in that case, what you think they were like Chesters, or
I think...
Because I kill aliens, bro.
I'll take ET out, bro.
Yeah, for real, man. Me and Randy Quaid, man. We're gonna Will Smith, Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman's gonna be joining.
But
I
no,
know too much about that movie. I just named
did
like
you,
every.
Did you just watch it again?
I did.
I figured. No, I fully get behind and get down on the fact that they would, if they were going to visit us, they would probably meet with children.
Okay. I mean, yeah, definitely. I agree wholeheartedly. What's your reasoning behind it? Just because, or
because children are more inclined to be honest. Children are more inclined to believe because they have not been jaded by the world of science and the world of everything having an explanation. Sure. They still have wonder and curiosity.
Yeah.
And awesome. There's so much that they try to think and figure out all the time. So when these creatures would meet with them, they're meeting with someone that's more pure of a heart, as a representation of human that they can talk to.
Could you imagine if they would have visited with the President of the United States between the years of 2017 and 2021? They're like, okay, first off, the aliens came here, okay? They came to see me because they know I'm the boss. Like, I feel like they might be in control, DT.
I also feel like we need to talk about this off air. You may have just written the next great screenplay.
Yeah, that's good. That's copyrighted. Anyway, we're about done, right? All right, you know what? Let's wrap it up. Hey, thank you guys for sticking with another episode of the Hoot Hobbs Show and dealing with my nonsensical ramblings. But hey, we had some fun, and I hope you did too. Join us next week, same bat time, same bat channel. From BT, from myself, we bid you good night.